Ladies and gentlemen, today I'm reacting to a video titled Why is Under Knife and Birth 2 CS Dead? This was created by a man named NATZU FGC, and the main reason why I want to go over this video in general, because for someone that's been playing Under Knife and Birth for a very long time, this is probably the first video I seen regarding the state of Under Knife and Birth 2, and I'm so happy that someone came forth to really discuss what's been going on with this game. So, Natsu FGC, if you're watching this video, I appreciate the fact that you took the time and effort to release a video like this to really discuss what's been going on with Uni 2. So please, for the other people that are watching this, make sure you like and subscribe and comment on this man, because I feel like he has done something that we haven't seen in Uni for a very long time, if not never, because there's not that many people that are so straightforward on what's been going on with Under Knife and Birth, right? In a video format, if that makes sense. But yeah, I'm basically gonna be going over this video, talking about the things, or pausing it and really sharing my, I guess, thoughts and opinions regarding Under Knife and Birth. So if you like the video, make sure you leave a like, comment down below, and subscribe to my channel if you really like the content. But let me not hold y'all up any longer. Let's actually react to this well-made video. And Natsu FGC, I appreciate you, my boy, and much love to you. But let's get started. All right, let's actually start reacting, or actually talking about the context of the video.
NATZU here once again, and we need to talk about Under Knife and Birth 2 because
Make sure you actually, people, make sure you actually like and subscribe, please.
franchise of fighting games. Now,
Mm-hmm.
this game came out recently, and when I say recently, was in January. Now,
January 25th.
the reason why I'm talking about this is that if you're someone has me that's been playing Under Knife and Birth, especially the normal, the new version, right?
Mm-hmm.
You'll be noticing that it's harder and harder every time to get matches, and it's getting to a point that I think the other days I waited almost like 1 hour,
To
and
find a game
because
that is not too crazy on a knife and birth
no,
standard.
no bueno. So let's go over here and discuss what is happening in the game and is the game dying.
Okay.
So if I
Now, ladies and gentlemen, I paused the video so I can give y'all my initial thoughts on what he just said. Is Under Knife and Birth dying, and the fact that not to FGG, having to wait for an hour to find just basic games, is the game dying? I would go, in my honest opinion, I would say yeah, it is. And this might be controversial for a lot of people for me to say this, but it's true. If you have to hop on a game, a fighting game, a specific time in the day, if you're loading up and you see no rooms found, or you can only really fight the same person you've been fighting for the past couple of days, that I think is safe to say that the game is dying. And to add in some extra context too, this is nothing new in Under Knife and Birth. For anyone that's been playing this game for a long time like I have, Under Knife and Birth has always got to this state where the game will be popping for a couple months. A lot of people will leave it, and like people will join or people will play, and over the course of the months, people will leave, to where it gets to such a minute number that you will have, I guess, the thought or the realization of saying, oh shit, this game is like no one's playing it. I don't think this is too crazy for him to say, because just like a couple days ago, I was waiting for games and I couldn't find games for at least an hour or two. So it's safe to say that the game is dying, yes.
I go on YouTube and I
To
look
answer
for
his
Under Knife
question.
Birth, right? You will see good numbers because keep in mind that usually the
Let me fast forward a little bit, because essentially what he's talking about here is the Under Knife and Birth algorithm and the content side of things. And I don't want to literally like watch the whole entirety of the 10 minutes, because that's why it kind of feels lazy to me. So I'm gonna fast forward a little bit right here.
and stuff, etc., etc. Now, keep in mind there's some users over here that they're throwing content, but they're not editing. They're just uploading it and stuff like
Yeah.
that, right? Depending on the time, you can see my last video, which had like 200 to 100 views in
Mhm.
that range, right? And you can see over here like Tampa Never Sleep. This was 18 hours ago, right? and you can see 2K, right? Now, depending on when you're seeing this video, it might be a little bit later, but you can see
Yeah.
that if we compare those numbers to other games that they had shown, right? For example, one day ago, you will see that.
That the viewership for Under Night is not that high. Let me chime in on this. I have two thoughts regarding the Under Knife and Birth YouTube and the algorithm. For one, Under Night and Birth does not have a casual audience. I want to really stress that. Under Night and Birth does not have a casual audience. Anybody that says we do is lying, in my honest opinion. Because a lot of what you see in the YouTube feeds regarding this game is, like he said, tournaments, matches, characters fighting other characters. And I think that's a problem where when you want to get into the game, if it's not content that can make you either curious about the game, content that can make you laugh regarding the game, or content that is like a guide or analytical or something regarding the respective characters you want to play, that's when I feel what Under Night is doing wrong. And like I said in my rant video, I do not blame people that don't want to make content for this game because of how bad the algorithm is. But I think it's important for us to have a conversation regarding the content, because we need to make content to where people don't, where the initial reaction or the stereotype regarding this game is Under Night and Birth is hard, it has a bunch of sweats, we cannot get into this realm because it's going to take us years and years and years in order for us to catch up. I don't want Under Night to have that reputation. I want it to be a friendly, fun fighting game that people can hop in and enjoy at their own pace. So having content like this on YouTube, I don't think helps that situation. I think it makes it worse because people see so much high level play. That's all you see regarding Under Night is just the high level. We don't see real casual play in Uni. So that needs to be a change. And also, not to make this part too long, have something or have content that doesn't necessarily make this look like a fighting game. So have something funny, have something where each character, like, you know, trolley videos, oh, Ikiru's B plus C, I'm trolling with this in the Under Night. Stuff like that I think will garner engagement regarding Uni 2. But let's continue.
And you can see over here, like, Tampa Never Sleep. This was 18 hours ago, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you can see 2K, right? Now, depending on when you're seeing this video, it might be.
Well, let me fast forward a little bit. Hold on. And then next he was talking about the rollback. Correct me if I'm wrong. Around here.
Netcode.
Yes, right here.
The longest thing that people have been saying, right, is that as soon as Under 9 Bird has rollback netcode, the game is gonna be saved. A lot of people are gonna play it. And you can see here on my Steam charts, just in case I'm trying to.
Yes, that is true. Myself included. I want to count myself out of this because I did say early on in my old rant video that Under Knife and Birth 2, if we just had rollback, the game would be in a way better state than Clear was. And just to give y'all some background context for people that don't know Under Knife and Birth Clear and didn't really experience that version of the game, the netcode in that game was so bad to the fact to where we had to play on two maps, which was Park and Training Room, because those maps I believe had the least amount of latency and lag. And even with the introduction to Long Drake, he got a map included, or they also included his map in Under Knife and Birth Clear. But since that map was so laggy, you couldn't even play that online. Because the minute you hop on that map, it's like an automatic 6 to 7 frames, maybe 5 frames. You really pairing up with someone with good connection. So yeah, Under Knife and Birth Clear had really, really bad netcode. But I'm going to add more of my thoughts regarding rollback in a sec. Let me just let this video continue.
Look for it manually, even though I know there's a search engine. But just to show you that this is a big issue in fighting games.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, fighting games are not popular or any of that. Like,
I stutter too, man. Don't worry.
Picks depending on the hour. Sometimes if you're looking for this information during the day,
Mm-hmm.
you see Street Fighter 6 or Tekken, right? And it is bonkers, right? if we look for Honor and Birth in Steam chart, you can see that right now
Let
the
me move
30-day
this a
average
little
is
bit for
around
y'all.
almost 200 people, 889, and you can see current players 149 now. All-time peak, 2K, bro. Like this is
It's
this is not
crazy.
good for a game that only been like from January, right?
And
And you
let
can
me
see some
pause this
stats.
right now. I'm gonna give y'all my thoughts regarding the rollback and then the graph that he showed on in the video. Rollback was supposed to be the saving grace for Honor Knife and Birth 2, but in my rant video, I didn't express it well enough. I said rollback I felt was overhyped because at the end of the day, it's up to the community to really push their game forward. Rollback was going to be the saving grace for this game in terms of network stability, but not in terms of it garnishing players. I want y'all to get that through your minds when y'all talk about rollback. Rollback is a good feature for fighting games. I'm not saying it's not, but it's up to the community to push the game forward. If rollback, like how it came out with Under Knife and Birth, the PC release, if it was like that, there is nothing rollback can do to really bring back any sort of comeback regarding this game. Because like I said before, this is nothing new in terms of Under Knife and Birth. It always goes in a state like this where people are not playing it. This downward spiral that you see right now on your screen, this happens with every uni game. Every single one. So this is nothing new regarding Under Knife and Birth 2. And if you watch my concerns video, I said it there. I said I'm hyped for Uni 2, but I want to see how long people are going to stick with this game with the added feature of rollback. Because it's up to the community to really strengthen the game and to really push the game forward. And if I'm gonna make a quick comparison, if you really watch the Fighter Z community and how much shitty seasons they had with no rollback, mind you, they had delay-based netcode, no rollback implemented, trash seasons with some of the characters, and that community pushed that game forward. Regardless of Dragon Ball Z was his IP, regardless if it was on the Evo stage, that community pushed that game to heights that we didn't think an anime fighter was gonna really experience, right? Regardless of the Dragon Ball Z IP. Because there were a lot of seasons that game had that could have literally just pinned the cross, or like the game is getting stabbed through the heart. Like it could have died. And when I talk about this regarding Under Knife and Birth 2, there's nothing that rollback can do to really strengthen this game other than improving the net code. It's up to us to really push the game forward. And that's what I was trying to say on my rants video. But yeah, this is nothing new with Uni. This shit been happening for years. And anyone that says I'm lying, well, shit, I'm interested to hear your perspective.
Other fighting games that have been, for example, let's say,
Melty Blood.
sorry, Melty Blood, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can see right now it's 52. Now, keep in mind, if I click on Melty Blood, right, I want you to see that even though Melty Blood is an older game, you can see the all-time peak was 13, right? And again, this is...
And Melty Blood is such a good comparison for Under Knife and Birth because I think the same people, correct me if I'm wrong, worked on Melty Blood Type Lumina and Under Knife and Birth 2. With the UI, them damn near being identical, with the screen, with the character select, them shits being damn near identical, with where some of the system mechanics in this game kind of being almost comparable to Under Knife and Birth. The thing that made, I think, Melty Blood succeed a little bit more than Under Knife and Birth, and why they're at more of a peak player base, honestly, is the fact that they did... When you look at Melty Blood Type Lumina and when you look at Under Knife and Birth can be considered updates. Melty Blood Type Lumina can actually be considered a sequel because it was the first game to come out with the color customization. It had long DLC, but DLC in general. It had maps, it updated the sprites and the specials. This game was revamped and updated to where it can appeal to casual players. And now everyone has to relearn the game because the mechanics is not how it was back in the old Melty Blood. When you look at Under Knife and Birth 2, Under Knife and Birth 2 is Under Knife and Birth late, but with added mechanics and added moves. It's still the same game from 2013. So that's why when people look at Under Knife and Birth, it's like, I want to get into this game, but since the legacy skill is so strong, and since I'm only going to be fighting players of that caliber, and there's rarely any players of my skill level, it's going to seem more like a hard knock roll than it like generally being fun. So when you compare these two games, we can literally take notes of what Melty Blood did right and what Under Knife and Birth did wrong. But let me continue.
This is an older game, and you can see those small peaks in the chart. That's usually when there was an update or.
Now let me fast forward a little bit because I think he mentioned something regarding Tekken. Yes, right here.
Was released, there was another fighting game coming out that same week.
Tekken 8.
Tekken 8. Now you might be saying, "Oh, I don't think that's gonna be a big factor." But if you see that Tekken came out 26th of January, and 109 Birth
Came out.
The pre-bonus one that will come out January.
Yeah, but the official
the
release
real
was the
game for
25th.
everybody to buy was 25, a day before Tekken 8, and this is the thing, like this is a horrible situation. And then the other thing that people notices is that if you see the roadmap, you can see
the DLC. Before I talk about the DLC, let me talk about the Tekken situation that we all face, right? Me personally, when I first saw the initial release date regarding both the games, I didn't think it was going to be that big an issue if Under Night actually came out in a state to where it was playable day one. I told myself, or my initial thought was that Under Night and Birth is still a good fighting game. It has its hardcore fans, but if the game is playable day one, where people can actually enjoy the beauty of this game, then the game would pick up people and actually have a newer or bigger audience, right? I didn't think that was an innate issue until the PC port came out the way it did. And I'm going to be very honest when I say this. The PC port destroyed anything that could have made Under Knife and Birth 2 great. Because imagine if you're a new player that don't understand Under Night, that doesn't understand the company behind Under Knife and Birth, that have never touched this game, period. When you load up the game, especially on PC, and it crashed on you 24/7, and they had to wait 2 weeks to really, and we had to wait kind of like a week or 2 weeks to really get the network stabilized for us to enjoy the rollback, that's when it becomes a problem. I don't think Under Night needs to compete with Tekken. I just think it needs to offer experience that Tekken is a 3D fighter, Under Night is a 2D fighter. These two fighting games are very different. All Under Night needed to showcase was that we're stable, we got players active, we got our own shit that can be considered fun. Try out this game and make the decision for yourself. And Tekken and Under Night was always going to compete indirectly anyway. But the fact that we have a fighting game that's up and running day one, we just made it stronger. I feel like as a chain effect, if Under Night didn't fuck up on the PC port, or French Bed didn't fuck up on the PC port, our ratings would have been higher because now we're actually having new players stick with the game because they find it fun. But yeah, I stressed about it, but I was like, you know what, if Under Night does what it's known for, or does what it's good at, then we'll naturally gravitate audiences or new players. But let me continue.
On the roadmap, right? The new DLC is coming August, and then February of the next year, and etc. etc. Now, this baffles me because when I saw this, I was like, bro, this is a no-no in marketing. Why are you doing this? Right? Not only that, they also had issues with the PC port, which is another reason why the Steam charts is not showing a lot of players, right?
Yes, true.
Because keep in mind, Steam chart is more like something that we can base information, since We don't have numbers from PlayStation and other consoles, but at least we have like a general idea, right? Now
Mm.
it's really sad to be honest with Honor.
No, it is, and I agree with that completely. For one, I agree to I'll agree to disagree. The scheduling, yes, is crazy. I agree with that. But the point I disagree with is, well, not necessarily disagree. My perspective on this situation is that Honor Night and Birth, we never had DLC. Since 2013, we never really had DLC. Every time something new happened with Honor Knife and Birth, we had to buy the newest version. Honor Night and Birth can be considered one of the games that's still living in the past because we actually have to buy a later version to really experience the new additions that was added to the game. So for us to get this, just to get 3 DLC, I'm happy with it because now, like how Uni's going through right now, it can shake the state of the game because now we have something to look forward to in August. That in of itself is a great thing. They have another chance of marketing this game and garnering hype to really push this game forward. And even though Ogre is really far apart from Usagi, if I pronounced her right, it still means we have something that we can look forward to. So that in of itself is a good thing for people that are sticking with Under Knife and Birth, and for people that want to get into Under Knife and Birth but are still kind of iffy on what the state of the game is. This is in general fantastic to have. The date is not what we expected, but better to have something than nothing. So this I can kind of look over and look past overall. I think this is really good to have. And like I mentioned, this is the first time we ever had DLC Under Knife and Birth and the same version of the game. So really good.
Potential. Yes, maybe the graphics are not the best, but the gameplay is magnifique.
It's really good.
Nowadays,
And you could tell he's a fan of this game because he's like, bro, even with the sprites not changing and shit still kind of looking like PS3-ish era, this game is fantastic.
I always crying and saying, "Oh, my game is not the one it used to be." And to be honest, I think Honor 9 Bird is one of the few examples, right, that make this correct. They added new features, but stayed technically the same. So if you were
This
an
is
Honor
true.
9 player in the last version, or heck, in the first version of the game, when I say Honor 9 Bird,
Me, I was here since late, so yeah, I know.
my ninja version, right? You know, like people are always complaining that fighting games are too easy, or people use
This is true.
crappy game mechanics, etc., etc. But here is a perfect balance between game mechanics and also character strengths, right?
Yes, and this is what I wanted to add. Under Night, this is the one thing I want to add. I want to take away. I want to ask y'all a question. I want y'all to take this away when y'all watch this video. How is Under Night considered to be a fighting game with such great mechanics, great soundtrack, interesting characters in terms of archetype and play style, has a lot of unique interactions and just cool shit that seems more smart than other fighting games, but this game is extremely niche. That's why I don't understand. When I have conversations within the Discord or the things I see within the Discord of the Unity community, is always the fact that Under Night and Birth is an anime fighting game. It will never have the it will never have the popularity as Tekken or Street Fighter. You know, Tekken and Street Fighter, when it first came out, it wasn't popular, right? It was the people that actually had passion for the game that pushed the game forward to travel to these events and to make stories on the games that they played. Under Night and Birth can be the same thing. People that say that this game is never going to be as hype as it should is doomed to fail from the start, because now you don't think this game can be more than just an anime fighting game. In my honest opinion, I think this is a fantastic fighting game that everyone universally likes, but again, people are not pushing it forward. The community, not to shit on no community or nothing like that, or the uni community, because like I said, the algorithm is not that good. So you really have to do this off a straight passion for the game. But if we can all agree that this game is good, why is it not receiving the praises that we know it can receive? We gotta do something with this game. And mind you, I don't want to say it like this, but this is the last Under Knife and Birth game. I think the people at French Bread said this was literally the last game. Do y'all really want the last version of a good game to go out like this, to where it starts dying the first couple weeks that it got released? Y'all want this to be y'all game? And as NATZU FCC, from what he's been saying, he's a fan of the game. I'm obviously a fan of the game. Let's make this game hype. Let's do something to where we can push this game forward. That's all I want for Under Knife and Birth. And I think that's what everybody wants at this game, for this game at the end of the day. So yeah. This game is really good. If you haven't played it, please play it. The PC port is fixed. So please, we got to push this game forward.
Everybody can do technically the same things because they have, they have access to the board pool, the grind system, etc., etc. It is not like Street Fighter 6 where you're playing against the game mechanics, or in some cases more like against the character you're playing against,
Well, and under that, you kind of are playing with the game mechanics with Grid, because Grid determines on how much you can do and what you can't do depending on what moves and interactions you're trying to do on your opponent. So in a sense, you're kind of playing with the mechanics of the game, also with the character strengths, with the characters that you pick. But it's it's not as heavy as Street Fighter, but it's kind of.
Game, right? But anyways, with that out of the way, right? Like, another thing I want to mention is that this game, unlike Tekken 8, all things are included in the game. What I mean by this is that
let me skip a little bit ahead. I think he talked about the newer the features, or I think this is the end of the video when he talks about how good Uni is. Let me see.
You like Evolution. There's gonna be Evo Japan, and there's gonna be normal Evolution, which is in Las Vegas, Nevada, right? Both of those tournaments are gonna have Under Knife and Birth 2.
Yes, it is.
Amazing that nobody's playing this game, and I think this is a moment for everybody that wanted to test it out.
Should play it. Absolutely.
Just watch the finals, at least of Evo Japan, and if you're not convinced of what you like, what you're seeing, don't buy it, right? But if you like what you're seeing, please
buy
go
it.
and try the game.
Buy it.
I think, if I'm not mistaken, I'm almost certain they're gonna do like an announcement, or maybe they will put it on a special, right? Like, hey, buy it at a discounted price, which will be excellent for everybody, and then we will have more people in the community. This game is awesome. So
NATZU FGC, I couldn't agree with you. I couldn't agree with you more. Please, for the people that are watching this video or the people that have seen NATZU's video, support Under Knife and Birth. This game is really good. Like he said, it's going to be showcased in Evo Las Vegas, which I think airs on August 3rd. I think August 2nd or August 3rd. Correct me if I'm wrong. This game is really good. That's why is that important to really push this game forward. So for people that don't really understand why Under Knife is such a good game, you can explain it or at least showcase why that is. This game has always had a problem with appealing to casuals or appealing to new people, because everybody in the community is at such a high level that it kind of pushes players back because of the legacy skill. I actually want to mention this too. Tekken and Under Knife and Birth have the same reputations for being difficult games, and with the improvement that Tekken 7 had, especially with its content creators, especially with how Bandai Namco added things to make the game a lot better, you can only go up. You can only go up from there, man. Like Tekken, Under Knife, weirdly enough, are the same games or have the same stereotypes surrounding it being difficult and it having legacy players. But Under Knife and Birth doesn't have the amount of content or doesn't have the amount of passion or love put into that game than it does in Tekken or in Under Knife and Birth, right? So again, before I end this video, before we get to the conclusion of NATZU's video, please, Under Knife and Birth is a really good game. I cannot stress that enough. Show it some love, make some content for it, and overall try to bring in new people that are curious about it and explain what they need to do in order to improve at the game.
You know, again, also they solved the PC issue, right? There isn't any more
Yes,
issues than
it's fixed
before.
now.
So it's a great time to play the game, right, and enjoy the game. And it's a super fun game. If you're somebody that hates cookie cutter easy fighting games, right? Because a lot of
Mm-hmm.
people are saying that, oh no, I'm a hardcore player.
But let me skip a little
Do that
forward.
and then pass judgment, because I understand that right now, economic wise, nobody is in a good spot. But this game is not like a 60 game, 60
It's a
price.
it's a $50 game, so it's really easy for you. Not too hard on your wall. It's not like the $70 games that are on PlayStation 5 and other shits right now. So
So you can do that in the meantime. And again, I think this game's gonna be discounted. Maybe between the evolution time, maybe they will put like a discount, because they do that sometimes.
yeah.
But anyways, guys, let me know in the comments below if you tried Under Night Bird, and if you did try it, why you stopped playing, and if you want to play it, why you haven't done it still, right?
Yes. Well, this is the end of NATZU's video. Why is Under Knife and Birth 2 CS dead? In my honest opinion, this was a really well made video. I think more videos like this need to surface on YouTube regarding this game, because I feel like it's a conversation that needs to be had. Under Knife and Birth 2 is a fantastic game. Go support it. And before I end my video, again, please support NATZU FGC and the video he made regarding this game. Show him love. I hope he didn't get any backlash for making a video like this, because I know a lot of people are sensitive on the topic or any negative press regarding Uni. So I hope he didn't get that much of a, again, negative feedback. But yeah, I hope y'all enjoyed the video, the reaction I made for this video. So if you like the video or you like it overall, leave the like, comment down below, and sub to my channel if you really like my content. But that being said, hope everyone has a fantastic day and stay tuned to the next one. Take care, y'all.